Does everybody have those copies of all those documents and data and information?
Not all of them, I have a lot. However, what I find interesting is your reference to Power School.
Okay.
And if we could get information from Power School on, like you said, how many hours, because, you know, I can trust what you say, but I'd like to verify.
I agree. You just look at the bell schedule, look at the number of kids that are in WIN and the CAT, CAT, and then you look at the classrooms, and you will realize that most students have 4 classes in a given day.
But isn't that how a block schedule works?
And I think that's part of the problem.
Which I don't understand, because I never had that kind of schedule.
If you use a conventional schedule, those grades will go skyrocket. They'll do so much better, because a conventional schedule is part of that discussion. And when you look at that, those trend lines, it was when the block schedule got implemented. And most people are going away from block schedule. Even the guy that created block scheduling wrote books now of why block scheduling is bad. So, again, remember, everyone is a lobby. I'm lobbying for common sense, lobbying for managerial oversight, and tracking the performance, not just guessing at what you did.
I would like to speak real quick because I have a very grave concern about what Mr. Bradley has said, and I've heard from other parents in the district who have heard his previous presentations about his access to Power School. What access to Power School is only given through our administrative office, and no access was ever given to David Bradley. Recently, that system was attempted to be hacked, and we attempted to find out who broke into that system. But that system has private information on students. And the only way you get the information that Mr. Bradley is speaking of is to have administrative access. And as a parent of this district, I'm very concerned with the access that he's claiming he has to that system.
Are you accusing me of something, Mr. Rarick? And I find that insulting.
Absolutely.
Are you accusing me of a crime, sir?
Absolutely not.
What are you accusing me of?
You've had access to that
What are
system.
you accusing me of?
Mr. Bradley, you just stood here and told us that
You
you
said
were
you
granted
had access to the system.
I reviewed the information within the system from a managerial standpoint. There's no problem to do that.
How?
That's between me and the people that helped me get the information.
Somebody else access the system?
Within your administrative office, sir.
Okay.
So my question is, you're telling me that the board does not have the managerial oversight? You're blocking that board from that? He has access as a parent. She has access as a parent. You have access as a parent.
I'm saying I have a concern as a parent if you have access to the system which has private information on my child.
I agree.
It's that simple.
I agree, but really,
You don't have right to have access.
You can yell at me like this, but hold on, I got a better question.
No.
So you have a right as a parent to realize,
You're absolutely correct.
hold on a second.
Okay,
How
you took
many
this
hours-
half hour,
I get it.
15 minutes.
So
Enough,
the
no,
question-
enough,
I will.
enough,
The amount
no,
of time
enough.
your child is in front of a
Dave,
student,
there's no more
you have
answer.
access to, don't
This is
you?
enough for tonight.
I
Enough, no, enough.
But you do, he's accusing
Go
me.
take your seat,
I didn't accuse you of anything.
go take your seat.
But the reality is that
It's
if you have
enough,
access to
go
power
take
school
your
to your
seat,
kid,
that's enough for
and
tonight.
you're diverting this again.
Dave,
Hold on.
that's enough for
I have a
tonight.
right
No,
to
it's
defend
enough for
myself.
tonight. You had your 15 minutes that you turned into a half an hour.
Good evening. I just wanted to clarify something for the middle school. Obviously, I can only speak on behalf of the middle school, but just so all the board members are aware, our core team of teachers, when they're teaching 5 periods of instruction a day. They are actually in front of our students for 5 periods at 50 minutes apiece. Our students are getting 250 minutes of instruction from a core teacher. We also provide a 20-minute wait time, which allows the students to go to their core team of teachers and make up work. So out of the normal school day of the middle school, we have our core teachers in front of students 270 minutes out of our day. They also receive 100 minutes of CAT team, where they're in front of either a gym teacher, an art teacher. So the numbers that were presented are not correct. You look at our schedule, it's very easy to figure out. Every period is 50 minutes. So when you look at it, you get 50 minutes of instruction times the 7 periods out of the day, plus a 20-minute win time and 30 minutes of lunchtime. So our students are getting direct instruction. Also, to clarify a comment that was made, that you can go on to Power School and see how many minutes the teachers are logged into Power School and in teaching. Power School is a management system Teachers log in to take attendance. That's how they log, and we report our attendance accurately. The computers are set for safety and for privacy standards that it will automatically log a teacher out after inactivity of 5 minutes or so. So a teacher comes in, puts a bell ringer on the classroom board, takes attendance while the students are doing their warm-up, begins the instruction, the computer logs them out so no one can walk by and see the things. So it's really not giving an accurate record of how much time they're instructing. We know that a lot of the virtual instruction, we know the things that we went through with COVID, it wasn't the best for our students. We want our teachers teaching, and that's what they're doing. So if it shows that a teacher was only logged into PowerSchool for 40 minutes out of the day, well, that's accurate because they're logged in to take attendance, automatically logs out while they're teaching, the next class comes in, they log back in, they take attendance, and that goes on throughout the day. So please understand, while PowerSchool is going to log their login and log them out, it's not how much time they're in front of the student. Our students at the middle school are in front of kids at least 270 minutes a day if they're getting full instruction. Also with the student performance, that graph, I made you aware of it. I gave you a presentation. I believe in being upfront with everybody, and actually the information that Mr. Bradley presented kind of balances out and gives support to my request for a reading specialist. We want to help these kids. We know where the problems are, and I'm very grateful for the board for your support and listening to us when we do give those presentations. With the school safety, while his chart shows with the school safety, we're one of the only districts in Carbon County that has our own school police force. The other school police, they have security guards, they contact the local municipalities. Our numbers are going to look high because we have our own school police force. CCTI is the only one who does. When it says that there's no detentions that have been given, that's because the things that they're getting in trouble for don't warrant a detention. They're the things that they might be bringing a controlled substance into school. It might be an assault. Those are things that by the state, they need to be suspended. You're not seeing detentions there, and I would agree with that. We have no detentions in the state reportable thing because that's not the proper level of consequences for that. So I just wanted to talk, make sure that you could at least hear our point from the middle school, how much our teachers are really in front of the kids giving instruction, and also just to try and explain that safety factor.
But you also mentioned 270 minutes is only 4.5 hours.
No.
But 270 minutes is only 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours. I know. That's crazy, right? I mean, why don't we put the teachers in front of the students and let the other people do
Can
it?
I say something here? I had a discussion yesterday when I was here with Pete Salerno and Jeff. And what was explained to me, and then I went home and spent some time looking up the Safe Schools reports. Because we have our own police officers, anytime there is a written citation, it counts as an arrest. It's the same way as if you got a ticket for speeding and you paid the fine. When you paid the fine, you're pleading guilty, is what you're doing. So it's the same, it's reported the same as an arrest. What I noticed was when districts started hiring their own police, the reports changed. It still has a spot for local police involved. But I went into a couple of other districts that have their own police force. And they also have a high number of what's considered arrests, which match the number of citations reported further down. In the old way of reporting it prior to, it still listed citations, but it only might list one arrest. And that's under adjudication. And how it was explained to me is the local police force, because it's sent out to them because they don't have arresting powers within their district, would have to report that, and they don't.
Barb, I appreciate that you went through and found the reports. My report is over a 10-year period. We've only had a school officer for a couple years.
Right,
And
but
we
school
have-
police officers were not, yes, and I noticed,
And
There
we
was
have
one time where there was 69 arrests and another time there were 30. I don't remember the years offhand. I did see that.
Well, we're responsible for 100% of the arrests in Carbon County last year, and we know there's other districts with other things.
But every
So either
time-
it's not a function of the arrest, it's the fact that we have students committing these offenses. Meaning, would they commit them if they were supervised? Should we apply budget dollars to make sure students are supervised? And would the additional supervision of students reduce
Well,
the
I
warning
also
signs
looked,
of these
and
kids?
a number of the offenses are for vaping.
Again, how many kids vape when they're supervised and how many do it when they're unsupervised? And how many kids get injured when they're supervised versus
I
unsupervised?
understand what you're saying, but
Thank
I don't think the numbers make it as dire as it appears.
It is very dire when we
But
have that many
yes, we
injuries.
do need, we understand we need more supervision. If we had had it, there wouldn't have been a hazing.
I don't know that. It
I'm
looks
sorry, but that's true.
hazing looks institutional to me because there's a lot of people that knew and they did look the other way. It looks institutional.
It doesn't
Just like it's
matter.
institutional for a person to stand up and say 4.5 hours is good enough.
Opinion. I'm just
I
saying,
agree.
I delved into it and I did look at it.
I love it.
And it needs more,
Board oversight.
well, not only that, it also needs more looking at.
Correct. Yeah,
Because
and-
data is data and can be used any number of ways.
I agree. And 4.5 hours of instruction, I mean, by knitting it, that's
What
what it's about.
concerned me the most was when I looked at that data, we had 0 expulsions.
Which is also weird. And 0 injuries.
Stop.
Well, it's 0 injuries.
Can we?
And we've had expulsions, but they're not reported.
Can we move on to?
Yes, absolutely. Ed?
So I have the floor.
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to start off, I'd like to apologize for my interaction there, but when it comes to the safety of my children, as well as the control of data for the district, whether internal or external, I think it's very important. So I'm going to start off by apologizing. This presentation to the board is meant to be informational. Again, I'm not trying to sway your decision, I'm trying to give you options and educate you